Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you. I am Gavin Dias here, and it is my great pleasure today, on behalf of the Department of Tourism, to give you all a warm welcome. In fact, the weather gods have played great, and the weather is perfect, with the beautiful Divaya Resort playing a beautiful, sustainable host. Today is not only an important day in our collective efforts towards sustainable and responsible tourism, as we enter the global arena of regenerative tourism. We are honored to have the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Sri Rohan Kaunde sir, along with Mr. Sunil Anchipaka, IAS, Director Tourism, with us as they lead through the insights and actions in this significantly important tourism field. Honorable Minister's persistent dedication to promoting sustainable tourism, best tourism practices, and he has played a crucial role in shaping the present and the future of tourism in our precious state. If the last 24 hours were exciting, the next 24 hours are going to be mind-blowing. Without any further delay, let us begin this meeting with anticipation, as we have a small AV clip, and let us together proceed on a journey towards regenerative tourism, ensuring that our journey has a positive impact. Thank you once again, and I hope I have all ears towards the screen and towards the Honorable Minister and Director Tourism. Thank you.
Coastal paradise, abundance of natural beauty, cultural richness and delectable cuisine stands tall as one of the most sought after destinations in the world. I am Goa. Golden sands and waves embrace the shoreline. Kayaking, from scuba diving to thrilling boat rides, Goa's adventure sports bring smiles far and wide. From adventure to chill, indulge in opulence, admire luxurious retreats where comfort and relaxation await in elegant suites. With chilling, the complete rejuvenation I offer, while experience my beachside meditations to holistic retreats. After mind to satisfy your taste bud, enjoy the flavors of Goan cuisine divine. With spices and herbs that perfectly align. When the monsoon clouds gather above, Goa's beauty transforms with rain's gentle love. Away from the city's noisy strife, find tranquility in the deep green jungle life, where palm-fringed rivers gently flow. Nature's splendor unfolds at every bend. I offer a blend of comfort and local flavors. Homestays offer authentic cultural savors. Experience my festivals, from carnival's revelry to Shigmo's colorful band. Monsoon time mud and Chicocalo's thrill. Sao Jao's waters a joyful and refreshing spill. Unveil my rich history, witness civilizations spanning centuries. I am a divine pathway, connecting souls to the Almighty, resonating in my renowned temples, bestowed with the name Dakshin Kashi. My roads and highways, a traveler's delight. Train connectivity, seamless and vast. With 2 airports and ships that sail, multiple ways to arrive without fail. With every stride, Goa's progress is strong, with clear vision of 360-degree development. My love, get that tan. Enjoy that drink. Dance till you drop. Go play in the water. Celebrate life. Have that night. And promise me, when you go back, you will leave a part of you with me. And I will be with you forever. Come, find that happy face in the happy place.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible? Ladies and gentlemen of the media, welcome to Goa. In a world that teeters on the edge of environmental fragility and societal imbalance, the call for change echoes louder than ever. It's a clarion call that beckons us to re-evaluate our approach to travel and tourism. Individuals desire control over their own destiny as well as the destiny of the society they live in. It's vital to have self-awareness and the capacity for self-expression. People are criticizing, questioning and finding faults. Some are offering the fixes and the responses to the issues, critics and queries. While there is never a perfect answer, something has to be done. Since 2017-20, when we launched our tourism policy, we have emphasized on technology adoption and collaboration with a focus on making people and communities decision makers in the tourism sector. It's my privilege to stand before you today and unveil an extraordinary initiative that will redefine our approach to travel and tourism. Today we are launching Goa as a model of regenerative tourism. This marks a pivotal moment in our journey, one that charts a new course towards sustainable, conscientious and mindful exploration. Our model of regenerative tourism will revolve around 11 spiritual sites of the Ekadasha Tirtha. Through travel and pilgrimage, the Indian people have expanded their geographical knowledge throughout millennia, freeing themselves from the constraints of regionalism and parochialism. This campaign unfolds in the regions of 11 places of worship in Goa. By involving the local communities, especially women and the youth, in exploring, understanding and projecting their culture, cuisine and lifestyle, Goa tourism aims to harness the commercial and economic potential of their own history and heritage. The urgency for regenerative tourism stems from a profound understanding of the challenges that we face today. Our planet's ecosystems strain under the weight of conventional tourism practices, while local communities often bear the brunt of unsustainable development. The need of the hour is just not to mitigate these negative impacts, it's to turn the tide and actively contribute to the restoration and rejuvenation of our planet and our societies. Regenerative tourism isn't a luxury but a necessity, a transformative approach that transcends the limitations of traditional tourism models. It's a holistic vision that recognizes the interconnectedness of nature, culture and people, weaving them into a tapestry which each thread is vital of the whole. Surprisingly, we are already doing this even before we realized it was regenerative tourism. When we talk of regenerative tourism, we normally expect environment, society and economy to be the main verticals, the pillars. And when we talk about Goa beyond beaches, when we talk about ease of doing business, when we talk about homestay policy, we talk about shared policy, we talk about G.O.A tourism clubs, we are talking about different festivals in the state. We have already started contributing in our own way towards the environment, society and economy. This shift is essential because it aligns our travel experience with the imperative to conserve and regenerate. By adopting regenerative practices, we breathe life into landscapes, revive cultural heritage, empower local economies and create a virtuous cycle of sustainable development. Moreover, regenerative tourism isn't just about safeguarding the environment, it's about fostering a deeper connection between travelers and the places they visit. It encourages meaningful engagement, cultural exchange and a genuine appreciation of the diversity and richness our world offers. Each step we take, each destination we explore, presents an opportunity to contribute positively to the well-being of our planet and its inhabitants. Goa, a coastal paradise renowned for its azure shores, diverse culture, beauty beyond the beaches and the warm hospitality, has long been a beacon for travelers seeking respite and adventure. However, we stand at a critical juncture where the very beauty that attracts millions also faces the strain of conventional tourism practices. It's time for a change. It's time for a shift from mere tourism to a holistic model that preserves and nurtures our natural wonders, cultural heritage and local communities. The regenerative tourism model embodies a commitment not only to enjoy Goa's splendor, but also to leave a positive and lasting impact on its landscapes, communities and cultures. Picture this. Initiatives to protect our pristine beaches from plastic pollution, rejuvenating coastal ecosystems and engaging local communities in beach cleanup drives that not only restore the beauty of our shores but also instills a sense of ownership and pride among our own residents. Local homestays, empowering women of the local community and promoting festivals in Goa beyond beaches with full support and engagement of the local communities. Moreover, we are dedicated to promote sustainable agriculture practices that promote and celebrate Goa's rich farming heritage, the agro-tourism. This involves supporting local farmers and showcasing organic farming techniques to both educate and empower our communities while providing our visitors or tourists with an authentic taste of Goa's culinary traditions. In our efforts to preserve the cultural heritage, we are committed to revitalizing ancient art forms and craftsmanship unique to Goa. The festivals of Goa. Chikalkalo. When we talk of Chikalkalo, you must have heard about Tomatino, the festival of tomatoes which happens in Spain. We talk about a mud festival in Goa, which is linked very with the culture, to the tradition, rich in heritage, and something which every one of you needs to look upon. Carnival, Shigmo has already been largely spoken. The world knows about these two events happening in Goa, and many more festivities happening and to happen in the state of Goa in days to come. By supporting local artisans, we aim to foster an environment where traditional skills thrive, providing visitors with an opportunity to engage with and appreciate our rich cultural tapestry, some of which my team will show you tomorrow when you head out to the theme of Goa beyond the beaches. Furthermore, we are investing in community-based tourism initiatives, empowering local entrepreneurs to offer immersive experiences that showcase the true essence of Goa. Whether it's homestays that offer a glimpse into our way of life or eco-tours that immerse visitors in the lush hinterlands, we seek to create a symbiotic relationship where tourism positively impacts the livelihoods of our communities. We invite all travelers from all around the globe to be a part of this transformative journey, to revel in the beauty of Goa while actively participating in its preservation. Your visit comes as an investment in sustainability, in safeguarding the very essence of Goa that captivates the hearts worldwide. In conclusion, the launch of regenerative tourism in Goa signifies our unwavering commitment to not just sustainable tourism, but also to the holistic well-being of our beloved state. Let us embark on this collective endeavor to explore Goa responsibly, to leave footprints of positive impact, and to ensure that this paradise remains a heaven for generations to come. Let's put back more than we can take out. Thank you. Dev Baregolu.
The mic is not.
Yes. Honorable Tourism Minister Rohan sir, friends and media, and my department people. So, very good afternoon all of you. First of all, I would like to convey thanks to my Honorable Tourism Minister for his vision and mission approach to achieve all the Sustainable Development Goals, which has been initiated by United Nations, and subsequently how to incorporate those goals within the framework of Goa administration. Friends, once again, I welcome all of you for Goa. I am Sunil Anchibaka, Director Tourism and Managing Director Goa Tourism Development Corporation. To begin with, I would like to stress upon about what is the historical significance of Goa and how as a state we have leveraged the historical significance subsequently post-liberalization and in fact post-colonization, how we adopt such type of global trade and commerce, which was Goa was known for centuries. So history of any state is very important to begin with, and it gives you complete picture how it evolved over a period of time and how it maintained its sustainable core principles. To start with, today we are here to share vision and how to achieve those vision into mission for the Goa tourism development. To start with historical context, we know this year we are celebrating 62nd years of liberation, and if you go back to history, it is more than 450 years colonial rule, Portuguese precisely, and during that time, if you could see, Goa has got huge connections with Europe, Eurasia and Central Asia. That's how that entire global connection started with the Goa, dated back to centuries. Now, what are the how this Goan state has leveraged these historical connections post liberation period. So Goa, as I mentioned, it has got huge trade and commerce, and it was once upon a time gateway for western side for all its trade and commerce. So the same thing it has been leveraging with that same spirit. At the same time, it is known for its pristine and clear beaches. With these peculiarities, it has got attained few attributes. The same attributes, how subsequently it became attracting for the tourists. As I mentioned, Goa as a gateway to and from India, and it is global in its spirit, and at the same time, Goan society is a progressive, floral, and adaptive also, and over a period of time, it is integrated in its own nature. So these are the few attributes which rising to put the Goa state as one of the top bright spot in the world map in terms of tourist ecosystem. Next, please. Now, what are the challenges which Goa state has been facing, and how perhaps I think it is one of the first state in the world facing the competition at majorly at 3 levels. If you could start with at the nation level. For example, of late, all the media friends, or in fact digital media, they have started comparing Goa with Sri Lanka, Vietnam, to that matter Indonesia and Thailand. These are the various at the nation state level. If you could trim down to further and modern city states like Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok. These are the and at the same time in the Indian context, our neighbors like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and UP. So these are the large Indian states which as a Goa tiny state, and moreover, as I mentioned, it is a hardly it is a very one of the youngest state in India. though economy-wise it is a small state, still, we are competing with at the 3 levels I have mentioned in that slide. Now coming to COVID challenge, as we are all aware of that, COVID is one of the human crisis sort of situation, and it completely breaks down the entire supply chains across the world. Now post-COVID, what are the different challenges and how that entire tourism has been reoriented itself to put in the bright spot in the entire economic scenario. For example, as we are all aware of that, tourism and hospitality industry, it is one of the, to that matter, if you look at world level, 10% of world GDP or 10% of major employment opportunities created by tourism industry. So such a, it is a completely, it plays very important role in terms of employment generation and economic activities. This is one thing. And if you look at armed conflicts, if you look at Central Asia and West Asia, where Goa state, we are about to get direct flights from different Israel, and we do get large tourists from Ukraine and Russia. These are the traditional our markets. So post-COVID challenges, we started looking at beyond that and emerging markets. So that's what as a tourism department we have been focusing. And important thing is the main important lesson from the post-COVID situation is, earlier we were thinking about top-driven approach, but whereas in the post-COVID completely it has changed the entire scenario, then focusing on predominantly on community and people by putting them in the center stage. That means precisely they are the people whom are doing all these things. That means they are the main decision makers where we need to focusing on them. That's the post-COVID one of the main important lesson. And subsequently, as my Honorable Minister has mentioned, Goa Tourism Department in terms of without coining the term of regenerative tourism, we have been adopting those sustainable practices and regenerative. So this is how, as a visionary, Goan state has been adopting such type of initiatives. Next, please. Now, these are the various various shifts in the tourism model has been changed in terms of traditionally we are focusing on sun, sand, sea. These are the few things, but of late we have given that Goa is beyond beaches. So why Goa is beyond beaches? Because how to focusing on the Goa beyond beaches, how to attain the sustainable development and sustainability. So these are the various challenges faced by our, in terms of the climate change, in terms of democratization of complete resources also, at the same time emergence of, grassroots democracies. These are the various, post LPG era. It has forced it to adapt such type of changes, and at the same time focusing on people and community involvement in all decision making. So if you could look at the regenerative tourism, that entire history goes back to our 1980s Manila conference. Therein first time there are various initiatives taken by tourism, and first time they have recognized the tourism as an industry. And recently there is a G20 working group on tourism ministers. All G20 countries unanimously agree to pass the Goa as a tourism. In Goa, they have declared that Goa roadmap for sustainable development to achieve all the sustainable development goals. So there also all G20 countries predominantly unanimously accepted for importance of sustainable development, especially focusing on employment generation and skill development. So as my minister has mentioned, new tourism policy we have adopted in 2020. So there Goa Tourism Department started looking beyond sun, sand, sea, and focusing precisely on cultural things and unexplored tourist destinations, and predominantly focusing from coastal area to hinterland tourism, and especially how to empower the local women and making them decision makers. These are the various tourism policy itself we have incised that. So these are the untold stories. These are all as part of our regenerative tourism itself. Next please. So as we mentioned, these are the today we are here to announce our vision for future tourism, and especially as we mentioned, people-centric tourism and empowerment of local communities and shared experience between host and visitors, and how to achieve that symbiotic relationship between host and communities. That is precisely what we have been, that is our vision, and how to achieve that vision I will talk about in subsequent slides. So what we are talking is here how to make host and visitors as a partners in this entire journey, and how to redefine the entire tourism maintainable sustainable practices by partnering with them. That is the key point which I want to stress upon. And how that partnership between visitors and host redefine the Goa's future tourism development. Next please. So friends, as we have been talking about, today we are in the process of formally launching regenerative tourism, and that goal is for next 36 months. How do we ensure that environmental restoration, cultural preservation and community empowerment? So precisely how to achieve these goals by what are the different tools or different vehicles to achieve that set of goals. Precisely we have adopted is one is spirituality, indigeneity, civilizational, nationalism and consciousness tourism. That means precisely responsible tourism. So these are all various pillars which I have adopted. And if you could look at even WTO definition, what is the regenerative tourism? If you allow me, I would like to read. Regenerative tourism is a tourism that takes full account of current and future economic, societal and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of visitors, industry, environment and host communities. So if you could look at that definition itself, regenerative tourism is beyond sustainability, because sustainability takes account of what is the current resources, and while preserving the current resources, we need to ensure that those resources are available for future generations also. Whereas regenerative tourism focuses beyond that, how that visitors contribute for regrowing and regenerate resources, and how they are partner with the host communities. That's the precisely definition, and that's accept definition by even WTO also. So basically, as I mentioned earlier also, it brings the symbiotic relation between the host communities and visitors by creating mutual respect, curiosity and admiration. So these are the definitions, and how do we achieve that in our pathways. So next please. So as I mentioned, there are 4 pillars which we have adopted. One is spirituality. If you could look at how this entire term came into picture, spirituality. If you could, Manila, as I mentioned, Manila conference in 1980s, precisely first time in the history of tourism industry, they have coined this term. There is a tourism is beyond this material and technological thing. There is some spiritual thing. So there should be some intertwined link between the tourism and spirituality industry. So that is the significance of spirituality. So this is where we are focusing. And second thing is indigeneity. Indigeneity, if you could look at whosoever visitors coming, for example, as our honorable minister has mentioned about homestay policy. Homestay policy, precisely our goal is to empower the local communities, and we have chosen 7 eco-sensitive zones where we cannot do further constructions also. There are a lot of restrictions. So we have chosen those 7 eco-sensitive zones, and the aim is precisely focusing on women entrepreneurship. So that's what our vision. So if that is the case, indigeneity means how to accept visitors, how to accept travelers in their homes. So at the same time, their, how to preserve their culture, at the same time how to cultural exchange for mutual learning each other. So that's the precisely what we want to do, and at the same time what we need to do, how do we empower the local communities by providing economic opportunities. So this is where indigeneity comes into picture. And next, if you could look at next, civilization and cultural nationalism. If you see the India after G20 or before also for the last couple of years, India has become emergence of leader of global south. So precisely footprint has been increased throughout the world. Now in this entire G20 meetings also, I think across India so many G20 meetings held. So in this entire G20 meetings, these are the testimony of India's rich cultural or civilization values, including in Goa we have held a couple of G20 meetings. It is a testimony for our rich cultural and heritage thing. So in this similar manner, I would like to mention about Honorable Prime Minister has given a clarion call about Dekho Apna Desh. So that means first to explore. If you could see the greatness of India, every 10 meters entire India changes. So that's the beauty of India. So before exploring outside, just look at your surroundings, look at your own country, right? So under this based on the Honorable Prime Minister vision, our Honorable Tourism Minister, first time in the country we have made one MOU with Uttarakhand Tourism Department, because how to connect Dakshin Kashi to Uttarakashi, so that how to maintain that mutual understanding, at the same time B2B relationship and tour and travel initiatives, and whatever we are having. For example, we have water sports, it's water sports. They have adventure sports, and in terms of spirituality also. That's how symbiotically we have made that MOU, and those MOUs we are in the process of doing for the rest of the states also. So as Goa Tourism Master Plan, it is one of, as we have mentioned, that regenerative tourism, one of the important aspect is responsible or consciousness tourism. So in this entire thing, we have already mentioned this responsible tourism as one of the key component of our Goa Tourism Master Plan 2020, and there is a paradigm shift from mainstream to mindful tourism. So how do we, in terms of if you could look at beaches, how do we preserve those beaches, at the same time less litter and scarce resources like water, how do we preserve? So these are the main important things. That's why that we always talk about responsible tourism and mindful tourism. So these are all, this is possible because only if we engage communities, and communities at the center stage. So friends, that regenerative tourism model precisely revolves around our spiritual tourism under the campaign of Ekadasha Tirtha. What this is, Tirtha means it is one of the ancient Indian concept, and Ekadasha means 11. We know that thing. Tirtha means basically crossover from one state of life to another. So could it be psychological, physical, or mental? So that this entire tourism industry shift from in our Goan context, Goa beyond beaches and regenerative tourism model. That's what we precisely want to focusing on, that Tirtha by involvement of course local communities and few places of worships which we have already identified, 11 temples. So now this entire goals of Ekadasha Tirtha campaign, how do we explore and understanding and projecting our local rich culture and cuisine and lifestyle, at the same time preserving our heritage and history also by involving the local community people, so that our entire, how to provide that bright future to our youth and children. So if you could look at one of the key initiatives of again Goan Tourism Department is engaging the Yuva clubs. Yuva clubs is one of the again initiative by our Honorable Tourism Minister under the guidelines of Government of India, where we want to created more than one, we have created more than 130 Yuva clubs across the Goa, where we want to make them our youth as ambassadors of Goan tourism. So they could promote their own, what is their Goan rich cultural and cuisine and lifestyle, so that wherever they travel, they should promote what is about, Goa and its rich cultural heritage. So that's how we are partnering with, students also, and it is one of the, we are seeing those benefits also in near future. If you see that, this regenerative tourism impact is multifaceted nature in terms of economic activities, and it is completely, if I mention that, impact on local and small and medium entrepreneurs, and various it gives various supply chains and various professions also, and indirect economic benefits are huge, which are unaccounted so far. So, as I mentioned again, tourism industry in Goan context, almost 16.4% of GDP, tourism industry contribute to state economy, and more than 33% employment generation comes from tourism industry. Such a and if you go in nearby future, because after mining, tourism industry is substantially contributing for the economic multiplier, at the same time generating revenues as well as employment opportunities for the local communities. Now, how do we achieve these goals? Whatever we have iterated in the in our vision. So first and foremost thing is, even if you look at the Goa roadmap for G20 leaders, specifically they have mentioned about training, skilling. How do we do that skilling? If you under the vision of our Honorable Tourism Minister, before homestay policy itself, we have engaged Airbnb for our partner, and we have started training in hinterland tourism. And we want, in fact, they have involved the local PRM members and our department people, and partnering. It is like a public-private and social partnership with the local communities, and to take them to give the various exposure visits also. At the same time, how do we empower them economically? So these are the initiatives, and at the same time, we are going to focusing on financial and media and technological and cultural literacy, especially that Ek Dasha Tirtha campaign, where we want to how do we market those products, how do we market, and how do we leverage the existing technological thing. At the same time, how do we promote our rich culture? These are the various initiatives which are going to do. And as I mentioned, we are collaborate. Anything institutions plays very important role. That we have already mentioned about Yuva tourism clubs, where all students would be our brand ambassadors. At the same time, we want to promote local language training and all those training materials also. At the same time, we want to create entrepreneur hubs by empowering in the hinterland, especially through skilling, and where we want to conduct various workshops also. How do we do their small budgeting sessions and marketing, and especially financial literacy, which is what lacking in terms of in hinterlands. So at the same time, we want to do some media training also for showcasing local culture. So these are the various initiatives which are going to do another 36 months, which we have already planned to do and to do things. So next thing is for any program, any scheme to be successful, one of the important and most important thing is information, education, communication. So these are the various initiatives which we have identified in terms of tourist experience and guidelines for homestay and education program for tourists, and establishing new cultural interpretation and integration centers, where these are centers will be manned by local people, especially local youth, to bring the cultural sensitivity. So these are the various these are the tourism department vision mission. Friends, to sum up with this entire this regenerative tourism, once again I would like to thank you and welcome all of you. So I know that this is a long walk and without any precedence, and we need everybody on board on our journey, and we need to be the voice, and we need you to tell the people around this is what Goa tourism is all about, and what are the challenges which we have been facing, and how are we what is our vision, and how are you going to achieve those things through mission, and at the same time how do we precisely focusing on communities and entrepreneurship and innovative women, and at the same time how do we benefit each other. Journeys like this definitely need lot of evaluation also. At the same time we may face criticism also, but they all need constant ideas and role models to evaluate. We depend on you for this. Friends, we have presented to you vision of Goa as a model of regenerative tourism, and we seek your cooperation, participation and contribution to it. And once again, I welcome all of you. Thank you for this wonderful time. Thank you, one and all.
I would now like to call upon the Honorable Tourism Minister and Director Tourism for the unveiling of the merchandise for Regenerative Tourism. Could you have a round of applause? Deepak would now give the word of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Department of Tourism, Government of Goa, I would like to extend gratitude to our esteemed guests, all media persons arrived from different parts of country, and also our own local media persons from Goa for attending today's Meet the Media initiative of Goa Tourism. Thank you. I would like to extend my gratitude to Sri Rohan Khote, Honorable Minister for Tourism and IT, Government of Goa, who have been our guiding light, imparting wisdom and knowledge to all of us. His unwavering support and guidance has been instrumental in the growth of sustainable development of tourism in the state of Goa. Sincere thanks to Director of Tourism, Sri Sunil Anchipaka, IAS, for making beautiful presentation on Goa tourism and sharing valuable information to all the media persons. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making this event a grand success. Thank you very much.
5 minutes. We'll take a 10-minute break and regroup.